morning, good morning. Can I start by saying thank you for your patience? It's been a bit of a bonkers week and I am beginning to get there now, which is good. I've got plans as well, which I'll take photos of and send you on WhatsApp, but I'll also drop you paper copies off either tomorrow morning or if I get time, I'll do it today. I've finished your design, which I have greatly enjoyed. I'm just turning the light up. It's been joyful. It really has. I haven't done a design for ages and it's made me realise, one, how rusty I am, but two, how much I enjoy it. So I'll start with the biggest pot. So your two large blue pots either side of your seating area. I have gone for an Acer. So I've gone for one called Acer Blood's Good. Acers are a little temperamental because they don't like the wind. So if it gets very windy during the winter, if you can protect her or just move her to a slightly less blowy situation, that would be good. But other than that, they'll do really well in your garden. They like to bake, they like full sun, they like all of that. I've also specified a tree fern for you in the large planter. I haven't specified tree ferns before now, and I've done a bit of research over the last couple of days, and basically they need to just not dry out. So they do like to be in relative shade. So I've placed it in the planter sort of underneath the sweet chestnut tree at the end of your garden, or the chestnut tree at the end of your garden. So it'll have a bit of the shade from there, but it then just needs a kind of double wrap of the irrigation pipe so that it doesn't dry out. What I'm going to do here is just list you through the plants that I've specified and why, and then you can have a look at the plans when you get them and do them to that. But I find this the easiest way to tell clients, because otherwise it's just an enormous amount of overwhelming information, and then they come away going, oh my goodness, I can't make head nor tail of that. So tree palms, the tree ferns and the acers are your main high planting. Then you requested the Choisya Tenata, the mock orange. So I've put 3 of them in. I've put one main Tenata, the mock orange, and then I've put 2 Aztec Pearl. And they are both located in your long planters, in the galvanized planters. I've also gone for one rogue plant, which you can see me pointing at now. This rogue plant, I think, is an absolute bloody gem, and it's called Woodwardia radicans. It's just an absolutely brilliant fern. I'm going to show you a picture of what it's done at Circus Street, but it really performs well. It's this fern here as well. So what I wanted then at the end of the planting, where you've got the tree fern, is to also have a ground fern, which will traipse on the decking, which you may not like. It will kind of spill and burst over everywhere, and that may not be what you're after, but if it is, I think it will look absolutely fantastic. So feel free to veto it, but that's my little rogue card. I've also specified sage in your main border for structure, and also rosemary. So those will be your main kind of structural bits within the sort of I'm trying to think of the word, sort of kidney shape, the long thin beds. Then we go on to the perennial planting. So the perennial planting, I have chosen a salvia, an ornamental salvia, so same as the sage family, but it has these long frond flowers. It's also an incredibly long flower. So as long as you deadhead and you cut back the flowers once they've flowered, it will repeat flower for a very long time. So it will start flowering around June, July, end of June, beginning of July. And as long as you deadhead it regularly, it'll take you straight up to October. It'll be a really long flower. You've then got Verbena bonariensis, which is here, here, and here. I feel like cabin crew. And this is a really tall plant. So I have specified salvia and verbena and geums and Crocosmia, which is the one just up here, to run through your planters, long planters that are sunken into the decking. But I've also specified them for the 5 meter planters behind your seating area to screen off the Airbnb, because I think it will give you really nice willowy kind of planting. So we've got Verbena bonariensis, which is brilliant as well for moths. And one of the bonuses of Verbena bonariensis is at sunset, it almost changes colour. It's absolutely extraordinary. It really is beautiful, but you will get loads and loads of moths coming into the garden as well that are after the verbena. Then we've got the salvia, we've got the geum. So a geum is here, here, here and here. Again, I've specified totally tangerine, which is a sort of orangey one. And again, if you stay on top of the deadheading, it will again flower for the similar length of time as the salvia. So they're really nice buddies together. They work really well together. And then you've got Stipa tenuissima, which is this kind of wavy grass, which I've specified in your irrigation, your drain pipe planters as well, because they're really, really sweet. And then they're in the area behind your seating in the 5 by 1 meter planters. I've also put a little bit of bronze fennel, and I've put some Crocosmia, which is this one here and also this one here. I've put that in the main sunken borders, sunken beds, and also the 5 by 1 meter planters. In the 5 by 1 meter, on the front of it, you've got trailing rosemary as well, which is here and here, which will just go down the front of the planter, and I think will look really beautiful. And then as you lean back as well, you'll just release all that scent, which will be wonderful. And then in your 5 individual planters, I've just gone for herbs. So I've gone for mint, rosemary, lemon balm, oregano, and thyme, and tarragon. So those will just be in your 5 planters. Checking I've got that right. Mint, yes, yeah. Those will be in your 5 planters next to the 5 by 1 meter. And then in the winter, if you can bring them into the main body of the garden so they're not sitting in the shade all winter, that would be brilliant. There's a few little rogue seeds that I've put in here. The thing with seeds is you just give them a go and you see what's happy. This is a really lovely seed. It's called Cerinthe major. And it's also here, and it's just a really nice seed to kind of get going and see if it does something. The other seeds I've gone for are Drew. I know you really wanted some sweet peas, so they're there. We've got nasturtiums there. We've then got calendula over here, and we've then got honesty as well, which is just there, and there's more nasturtiums there. So and more honesty there. We'll just see how they go. If they're comfy, then they will self-seed, which will be really nice. So then you'll have them year after year. So we'll just see whether they're happy. So then it brings me on to your drain pipe planting. So we need very shallow rooted stuff. So I've gone for Armeria, which is just here and also just here, and that will give you that's very, very shallow rooted, but it's a plant that does really, really well in alpine conditions, and it's just a good roughy tufty. I've also done Alchemilla mollis, which is here, which I think also should do really well because it's quite happy with shallow rooting, and it's quite happy to be a bit drought. It's quite happy with a bit of drought as well. And then let me have a quick look, in the guttering, also I've specified Stipa tenuissima, which is the little grass down here, parsley, thyme, and nasturtiums as well, to see if we can get some nasturtiums growing through there, which are these ones here and these ones here. It will make much more sense when you've got the plan in your hand and you can go through this as well. The other thing to mention is bulbs. I can't get hold of any bulbs at the moment because we have to wait till September. But when we can, I would like to get some bulbs going in your garden. So then that will carry you through from February through to now. So the bulbs I'd like to do are, first I'd like you to have some Narcissi in there. I've chosen Cheerfulness for this, but it can be any other. Cheerfulness is really good because it's scented and it's a multi-head Narcissi, so it's quite good value. I'd also then like it to follow on with tulips. I'm a great fan of a white, a peachy and a red, but it can be any colour you like, and I'm sure that you guys may have a colour that you request, so feel free. The only thing I'd say is if you're going to have a dark red or a black, have something to bring it out, because at that time of year when the light levels are low, a lot of people love like a black or a dark red tulip, but you need something that will bring it out. And then carrying on from there, about this time of year, the alliums are just starting to come out, and the drumstick alliums afterwards. And these are lovely because they're quite spindly and wavy, so you can just have them coming out of the planting in sort of random styles. So this garden, because there's so many areas and so many bits, there'll be a bit of jiggery pokery towards the end as to how everything gets in and where it goes. The only other thing I haven't mentioned that I had in the main planters as well is if I can get some perennial wallflowers, that would be brilliant because they're really long flowers over the winter. And the other thing I'd like to get is if I can find any foxgloves, that would be brilliant as well. I've done you a quote, and there's a main body of plants which is about 2,600, and that's the majority of the plants on here. There are certain plants that I can't get from my main nursery. Some of them are the annuals, some of them are the vegetable starters, and things like some of the herbs as well, and the perennial wallflowers and foxgloves. So those, if you can allow for about 250 quid, but I'll be able to confirm it once I've been to the nursery. And the other one that will be separate will be the fern as well. And let me know if you don't like the fern, because I can happily take it out. I just think it's such a magnificent plant. It's such a good doer. But I do have to buy it from a specialist nursery in Taunton in Devon, because it is so unusual. Let me know your thoughts. I'll try and drop the plans off either later today or tomorrow morning before work. And if you have any questions, which I'm sure you will, because this is a bombardment of information, then feel free to let me know. All right, my darlings. Bye.